Hey everybody, what's up? Don Carr here with another round of What's on Your Pedalboard, and today it's Ally Venable. Da, 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 da.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, so happy you're here, really. This is so cool. A quick rising star. I mean, really coming up quick.
Thank you.
And you've already you've got 4 records under your belt right now?
I think so. Yeah, I just released Heart of Fire, #2 on Billboard, which was really cool, and we toured on it, and everybody seems to really like it, which is nice.
Yeah, that's great. Good crowd response. I mean, that's the visceral, immediate, right? You know, when you get that and you go, oh yeah, that worked. Hey, speaking of, let's talk about your pedal board. That's probably something that may or may not come up in conversation a lot. So, so this is good. I think this might be a unique look into what you use.
All right. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, okay. The best place to start is where's the first point of entry?
Coming from the guitar, going to the amp. I have my Boss wireless system.
Okay.
I've been working with Boss since I'm 23 now, and I started working with them when I was about 17, I think.
Wow.
And I want to give a shout out to my Boss rep, Aaron Marino out of California. He's amazing. But I have this Boss wireless. I've toured with it all through Europe and here and the States, and it's great. Yeah, you can go about, I would say about 70 feet out if I were to go into a crowd or something with the wireless. But I just like it because I don't have to get tangled up in a guitar cord while I'm on the stage, because I do move around quite a bit. Right. So it's great to have. So that's the first thing that's on the board. It just has like a little bug that goes on the guitar, and then a little block on the pedal board that goes into the rest of the pedals.
Oh,
and
nice.
You can just charge it on the block. There's a little capsule
like a
for it
port.
to, charging port for it to go in there, and it's great. And they're all universal, so if you get other bugs from Boss, they all work in correspondence with the block. So.
Wow. So wait a minute. So you could have more than one operating at a time?
So
even?
I have some headphones by Boss as well that have the bug, and I can use that bug with that.
Nice.
So that's the first thing.
Nice.
And then if you move over to the wah right here, this is the one of the Crybabies. It's the 530.
Oh, is it the 535?
I think the Q.
Yeah, the Q with the little switch on the side.
Yeah, so I have
of it.
the boost. I have the boost on, and I have it turned to. I think they have like a Hendrix setting. On there. It's the toggle. Right here.
Yeah.
And then there's little frequency knobs on the left side of the wah, and so just kind of get a good wah sound out of it as well. So.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to fine tune your voice with a wah-wah, because it's like, depending on how you have your amp set and what kind of sound you're looking for. And sometimes like your pickup settings even too can affect the way, you know, if it's too bassy and you're on your neck pickup, it's like, you know.
And especially a lot of my influences and guitar players that I really look up to, that's one of their main things, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Buddy Guy, Jimi Hendrix, you know, all those guitar players. That was kind of a staple in their playing. So I kind of, I guess, took from that and incorporated that into my board.
Right.
As well.
and the other thing about that is that's the sound in your head. You know, so that's the sound you want to replicate. You know, that's what resonates with you, which is really important.
And you can get some pretty funky stuff, and it goes into Analogman King of Tone pedal, which a lot of guitar players really love. I love it. Yeah. I know my friend Kenny Wynn Shepherd, he has one, and another guitar player I know, Bernard Allison, he has one. I just love how they sound, and this was actually a gift from Devin Allman.
Oh, cool.
He actually recorded with me on my Heart of Fire album that I just put out. We co-wrote a song together, and he played on the song, and he brought this in, and after the session was done, he saw me like eyeballing it, because I'm like, it's a King of Tone, it sounds so good. And he was like, you can have it. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's such a sweet guy, and such a great guitar player, great musician. So, but I can kick it on for you if you wanna.
Would you?
Hear something?
That'd be great. That'd be great.
All right,
Let's hear it.
Here's, I guess, the dirtier side. like real in your face,
Yeah.
like cuts through really nice.
Yep.
And I can even play the wah with it as well. So it just like, I really like stuff that like really cuts through like the band. And also most of the time I'm a 3-piece. I have 2 guys that play with me, so it's nice to have something that also like fills up the space as well. And I feel like the King of Tone really makes that happen.
It does. It walks that fine line between. It's plenty articulate.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear everything. You hear the pick. You can hear your fingers moving around. You can hear your articulation, the whole bit. But it's not small sounding at all. I mean, it's huge. Yeah.
And the other side of it is also, it also has that same type of sound, but it's a little cleaner sounding. So if you don't want to like have too much, I guess, gain drive in the playing, you can have that as well. But it still drives, but it's not as much as the other side.
Right,
of the
right.
pedal.
Not as thick, not as dirty, not quite as much gain. Yeah, and even the full chords get, you can hear all the notes.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty of clarity there.
Right.
Yeah, but it's fat. It's responsive too, because when you're playing softer, the gain kind of comes down, the volume kind of comes down.
Yeah, I can even
real
play
dynamic.
around with that too to kind of toggle. It's kind of messed up on this guitar, but it's fine. So this is really my rhythm.
Oh, okay.
And then this is the treble.
Okay.
So it's a little messed up.
Switches backwards.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite guitars. So.
Hey, if it works, right?
But yeah, I can even try to show you the dynamic, I guess, of the pedal as well. So this is the rhythm. So I have the knob at about like 4 or 5. Cleans up as I lower the volume on the guitar.
Right. Yeah, and playing with your fingers too, because you got a little more control over the, over the volume. Yeah, right.
And I just tuck the pick underneath. And then as I kind of kind of opens up a little more too. And then the next pedal is also, this is more of, I guess it's a distortion pedal, but this next one is also another distortion pedal that I really like, and it's by Vertex. It's the dynamic distortion.
Yeah.
So it has a deeper sound to it. It's less, I mean, it still cuts through like the King of Tone pedal. It's just a deeper sound in my opinion. More gain, but just more rounded over.
Right. My experience with that pedal is that it's a little more compressed. Like the dynamic range may be not quite, dynamic distortion is the name of it, but the dynamic range may not be quite as big as that, but what you may lose in dynamic range, you gain just in
fullness.
Fullness.
That's the word, yeah.
There you go.
It's like
Excellent word.
It's a good full pedal.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah.
Full. I really like it.
Yeah.
And I've had that one for a while.
Yeah. Nice.
And I like to pair it a lot of times when I'm soloing with, I have a carbon copy that's, well, that's not next in the chain, I guess, but it's after this next pedal. I really love the carbon copy delay because it's super simple. So.
Well, and the other thing about that is with the, just with the basic like tone profile of the carbon copy, you can crank it up and it doesn't get in the way. It's not a big mush or a big mess, you know? That's one of the best things about that delay is you can do just that.
Yes.
You know, crank it and it, you know, you can still play whatever you want to play and it's not a, you know, it's not a mess.
Yeah. I really love it. And again, it's super simple. And sometimes I'll use the mod. There's like a mod feature on the pedal. Sometimes I'll use that, but for the most part, I'll just kind of set it where I want it, and it's really great, especially for soloing.
Yeah.
A little bit towards the end.
Yeah, it just dies out a little bit at the end. Well, and you know, again, in a trio, right? I mean, you're, especially playing in a trio, anytime you can fill some space, that's a nice thing.
Yes, that's totally right. I love having that fullness in the band, especially with 3 people.
Yeah.
The next pedal that I have is by Keeley. It's the Monterey Octave pedal.
Yeah.
And it sounds pretty cool. It's a real powerful pedal.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, you got the octave there and also that, you know, little bit of modulation, that kind of the univibe sound.
Yeah, I have it set on univibe. It has 3 different settings. It's the univibe, the rotary, and a wah feature on there. And so there's so many different settings you can have on the pedal as far as depth and tone. And there's even a fuzz feature. Now, I don't really use the fuzz feature on that pedal. I just use mainly the octave and on the univibe setting. I love that sound, especially, you know, like Jimi Hendrix had that univibe sound, so I use that quite a bit. And that's it. Yeah, it's huge sound. It sounds great too. And I got to say, I've never seen that custom shop edition in blue like that. I've never seen that because the only one I've seen is the painted one with kind of the swirlies with
on
the
it
hearts.
and stuff,
Yes,
you know?
I actually had that pedal working with Keeley, and I actually got the pedal stolen, and I told them what happened, and they were super great, and they sent me the custom shop version. So, and it sounds exactly the same as the painted Jimi Hendrix one. So
Right. Yeah, and Robert's awesome. He's such a great guy.
They're great. I love all the Keeley stuff for sure.
Yeah.
And the next pedal is on the board is just a chromatic tuner by Boss, and I just use it to tune my guitar.
Well, so it's your mute too, right?
Yeah, and I use it as a mute, so it just takes all the fuzz off, all the extra sound you don't want. So,
that's right.
But yeah, that's my word. And I just use a One Spot Pro to power everything, and I use a couple batteries for some of the pedals. But that's just what's in my pedal board.
Wow, that's awesome. It sounds great. You know, one of the coolest things about doing just the whole what's on your pedal board thing with anybody is really like a glimpse at your workflow. You know what I mean? It's like how are you thinking when you're performing, and what are the tools that are like the most important to you, and just and even just like watching you say, okay, well this one does this, and it makes you play a certain way when you engage the pedal. It's just it's a great glimpse inside how you work.
The tone really does come from your fingers and how you play, and the gear that you surround yourself with is just there to accentuate the tone that's coming from you. You know, I could have the same exact gear as, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I could have a tube screamer, you know, big 12 gauge strings, a Strat, and have all the same gear, and maybe try to play the same Lexus, but I'm not going to sound anything like Stevie.
Because
it came from him and his energy and his fingers and how he played. And I think that's what's so great too about playing guitar. So many people have so many different styles and energy that comes off when they play, and again, just the gear that comes with it is just there to accentuate all that. So.
It's an extension of your vision. I mean, honestly, you're so right on. That is exactly right. I mean, the music comes from you, the thoughts come from you, the sounds, whatever direction you're going, that's all internal. It comes out here. You know, this is the physical manifestation. And then this is how the rest of you get it to the rest of the world, basically. But yeah, and these are tools, you know, tools to support your vision, and I mean that's the key. right? You know, you're talking about your upside down Les Paul switch, and it's like, who cares? It works.
Yeah,
and
it works.
And it sounds great, and you love the guitar.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And I call this one the Wounded Warrior because I have dropped this thing so many times and I've cracked it, but luckily I've gotten it fixed. Here's the back of it. Oh. It's Gibson did a limited colors edition series in the 90s, and they made this color and I think like a teal bluish color, and maybe some other ones, but this one's probably my favorite guitar right now anyway.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But you know, it's just what I feel comfortable with and what I really like. And then my amp is a Category 5 amp. Don Ritter out of Dallas, Texas makes these amps. I met him several years ago. I was playing the Dallas International Guitar Festival, and he backlines that whole festival with his amps.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I met him. Yeah. And I haven't played through anything that sounds better than that one. You know, when you just find your amp that you really love and you play out of other things, you're like, it's just not what I am used to.
Yeah, I know. It's a connection. And again, you know, it's man, guitar is so weird. Especially electric guitar, because it's an acoustic instrument, but it's an electric instrument. I mean, there's really no other instrument that falls into that category. So all of this is a system, you know, together, and every part of it makes a difference. You know, it's important to fall in love with an amp. It really is.
Yeah, I really like supers as well. Supers are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But nothing can really beat that for me anyway.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. It's a killer sounding amp. You sound great. You sound awesome. Thanks so much. Ally, thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah,
seriously.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate you doing it. Really appreciate you doing it. Man, good luck out there on the road touring. I know it's a hard grind. You got a lot coming up, but that's good though. That's how you got to get out to the people and, you know, make music and
I love being on tour. I love being on the road, and I can't ask for a better job to have.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Thanks again. Thanks so much. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions about Ally's gear or any guitar gear, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer or check us out at sweetwater.com. Thanks.